Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
how should Americans view Trump's Vietnam draft deferment in light of his former lawyer's testimony? I find it amazing how MAGA doesn't care about it. Imagine if Obama had dodged a draft. Had a discussion about that recently. Crazy how Obama needed to be squeaky clean, and he was. Biggest shit Fox landed on his ass was a tan suit and wanting Dijon mustard. Trump blows that shit out of the water on an hourly basis. Fox says nothing. Don't forget the time Obama had the gall to salute while holding a coffee cup. Trump literally insults troops, calling them pathetic, weak, fat, etc. And Fox News are falling over themselves to praise the pedo-in-chief. I actually don't blame anyone for dodging the draft, especially for wars like Vietnam, but if you do, you damn sure shouldn't be sending anyone else to war or into danger. I'd also appreciate if they owned the decision. Vietnam was a terrible, immoral war and I was fortunate enough to have the resources to avoid fighting in it. I stand by that decision and regret that so many others didn't have that option. Quote, they can't say that because they can't publicly give other people an out for future conflicts they want to pursue. Dodging that draft made sense on many levels. Lying about what you did makes you a coward. A president casually sending kids into harm's way is obscene and immoral. I found it particularly galling when he bragged about knowing more about marching and acts like a big tough guy when he's nothing more than a bully and a pussy. A high school band member knows more about marching than he does. Trump has a hard time marching because he refuses to acknowledge the left in, left, 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 right, left. Another rich kid ducked the draft while poor kids died in rice paddies. Shocking. His lawyer probably has receipts for the bone spur doctor too. The real joke is anyone pretending this matters now. We all knew what we were buying. I didn't buy this shit. I was stuck with it like the stink with someone's fish in the break room microwave. I ain't no senator's son. It's pretty ironic and amusing that people think of that song as a patriotic war song. Does anyone think of it that way? It's a mainstay in Vietnam movies, along with Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower, but those are extremely critical of war, or at least that war. Before he sends you away to die, just know and understand his sacrifice to this country, his own personal Vietnam. What am I missing here? Did something new come out from Trump's former lawyer? And which one are we referring to? Ty Cobb, Michael Cohen? I'm not seeing anything recent on the interwebs about this. Of all the terrible, evil things he has done, dodging the draft as a young man is the least offensive. Calling people who did serve during war suckers and losers is offensive though. Doing so after having been able to dodge the draft because of being wealthy makes it even more offensive. Like he's an entitled child-raping scumbag. Every fault, every evil in the world, contained in one bag of orange skin. Heard it well summed up as, it's almost impossible to believe he exists. It's as if we took everything that was bad about America, scraped it up off the floor, wrapped it all up in an old hot dog skin, and then taught it to make noises with its face. Quote, fact is that Trump is intimidated that there are literal ball less soldiers willing to die for the country while his daddy gave him a doctor's note. Lol, he doesn't ever feel intimidated. He doesn't have enough humanity to feel those things. What does it matter? He dodged the draft, raped kids, now he's president and raping a nation. Is anyone gonna do anything about it? No. Okay, back to watching this country get torched by rapists. Dude has such a long track record of being a POS to military folks, making fun of them. Claims to be so hard and badass, yet dodged the draft like the little bitch he is. It's amazing how fucking stupid the majority of our military and police are supporting him. Then to top it off, he has the audacity to claim he's stopped wars and is a president of peace, all while trying to wage war on drugs boats, Mexico, Canada, Greenland, Venezuela, holy fuck, the list goes on. Trump is a first-class coward. What's new? If I had the money to buy off a doctor in order to save me or my sons from being drafted into some pointless foreign conflict, then I'd do the same thing. That's one thing. The other is to insult Gold Star families, POWs, and accept military medals from actual combat veterans after dodging the draft 4 times. I hate him, but I understand dodging a bullshit war draft. I would support anyone not wanting to go fight for anything other than their country's and family's safety. Which wasn't on the table in Vietnam or Korea. Imho. He had the kind of power to dodge the draft completely. He could have just used his family's influence to keep him out of a firefight. They say for every guy in a combat arms moss there's 9 other guys supporting him who never heard a shot fired. Plenty of jobs in Saigon, division level, etc. He just didn't have the balls to do any job. Trump's father had influence, but not that much. There are safer moss, and riskier moss, but lots of moss outside combat arms still end up at risk. And once you're in, you don't get to say no when they send you from your safe desk job to some fob that needs a clerk and is under fire daily. Being bit of a big shot in NYC isn't enough that the military command structure is going to care what happens to your son, as it would if you were an actual US senator. Yeah, our boys didn't need that idiot making it worse for those that were good enough to fight. What about World War II? He was born in 1946. WW2 ended in 1945. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, Donald in 2016. He's not wrong, and is the exact problem. His voters have lost all moral high ground. They are fueled by ignorance and hate. Nothing more, and they don't care that the dear leader is a terrible human being. He is the one that will make everything better, so it's okay. They are cowardly, garbage humans and the worst Americans. I always think back to a conversation I had with a now former friend in 2021 or 22. He said Biden's completely at fault for COVID AMD shutdowns, and I reminded him who was president in 2020, asked what he thought about masking, and most importantly brought up, remember when Trump said in like March that by April it'd all go away, like magic. I could be misremembering specifics ATM, apologies, friend said, no he didn't fucking say that. I said yes he did, give me a minute I'll find it. Not even an article but a video with full context. And he said, even if you do, it won't change my mind. And I responded, yeah, I know, that's the problem. TBCH, it felt like a shower argument with yourself where you have all the right responses at the right time, hence me still telling this story years later. I look at it like the Lori Loughlin college entrance scandal. You mean to tell me that rich people unfairly get their children into colleges they shouldn't be accepted to because their parents have money and influence? I'm not really shocked by this. And while I appreciate those that served in Vietnam, it was a war that we should have never been involved with, and countless people who were far less wealthy than Trump were doing anything they could to not go to Vietnam. I'm a rabid anti-Trumper. My father fought in Vietnam and died from Agent Orange poisoning. I loathe men like Trump who supported fighting the war down to the last 18-year-old. And yet I don't give a shit about Trump being a draft dodger. It was a shitty war and there's just so much else. I hate reposting the same comment, but calling people who did serve during war suckers and losers is offensive though. Doing so after having been able to dodge the draft because of being wealthy makes it even more offensive. And then to call those veterans suckers and losers is extra shitty. I agree. Back in the 90s Bill Clinton got so much shit for getting a college deferment, which was a legitimate thing the government offered. Now we have a honest-to-God draft dodger in Trump and they don't care. Dodging the draft is one of the few good things he's ever done. Wealth and white privilege got lots of spoiled country clubbers out of the draft during Vietnam. That's nothing new, but it still doesn't make it right. Then a few decades down the road to act like you are some great military tactician and leader is just plain old bullshit. I think the proper term is chicken hawk. Quote. The same as they should already view him. Traitorous and backstabbing. When he talks about invasion of close allies, it should be clear that duty and loyalty mean nothing to him. All he cares about is himself, and he will gladly do whatever it takes, however immoral or illegal, to achieve self-gain. He won't think twice about sacrificing anyone, no matter how, including close allies or his own people, to get what he wants for himself. And this is not a valiant sacrifice he'll ask of you, where you choose to put yourself in danger for the greater good of the country, knowing those who sent you will remember you a hero. No, Trump's version of sacrifice is him and his mates corner you at the top of a cliff, then bully you over the edge. Once it's done, they sweep it under the rug, making sure you're forgotten as quickly as possible. What this group of mates doesn't realize is that slowly, one by one, it'll be them too going over the edge, until only Trump remains. It strongly suggests keeping a very close eye on him. Nobody is safe while he has power. Dodging the draft was the morally correct thing to do. Everyone should have done it. Hypocrisy, bigotry, narcissism, and racism. His father paid the docs to get him the 4F ratings to keep him from being drafted. This wasn't uncommon, but a lot of other rich youngsters did their service and did it in combat situations. Trump has publicly denigrated war dead and war survivors. He has publicly denigrated Gold Star families. He has publicly denigrated currently living, known dead and living military heroes. In his first term in office, while he bragged that he was smarter than the generals, he proved that he had no concept of military forces, operations, or military life. Now, he has placed a retired National Guard major, infamous for drunken brawls, in charge of the military, is attempting to change the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and wants to turn the military against American citizens. How should I view his deferment? I think Cadet Bone Spurs is a despicable human being, and Article 25 proceedings should be seriously considered. Agreed. People vote for things they don't actually want all the time. Perhaps a reporter should ask how his bone spurs are these days. As I understand it, they do not go away. There's so much to criticize him on personally that it doesn't really matter, which is why they call him Teflon Don. I focus more on the blown opportunities and adverse consequences attributable to his misguided policy. For example, we'll never have peace in Ukraine or put a human on Mars if we are preoccupied with fighting about Greenland. We'll never attract the world's best talent to the world's best universities with a shoot first ask questions later immigration policy. Trump acts tough because he is surrounded by security. He is anything but tough. If he met that auto worker in the street alone, he wouldn't say a word. Anyone who follows him is the same. ICE only acts tough because they hide behind the badge and are surrounded by the gang members. Alone they are weak-minded people.